Friedrich, I've been intrigued by your aphorism. One must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. Could you elaborate on this idea? It seems to resonate with my concept of élan vital, but I'd like to understand your perspective.
Ah, Henri, I'm delighted that this image intrigues you. You see, the chaos I speak of is not simply disorder or the absence of structure. It's a primordial force, a creative ferment that defies the rigid categories of conventional thought.
I see. This indeed reminds me of my concept of duration, this moving continuity of our inner life. But how does this inner chaos lead to creation, to this dancing star, as you say?
Chaos, my dear Henri, is the crucible of all true creation. It's the state where all possibilities coexist, where old values dissolve and new ones emerge. The dancing star is the sublime form born from this chaos, but one that doesn't deny its tumultuous origin. It dances with it.
Fascinating. This seems to align with my idea that true creativity cannot be predicted or reduced to pre-existing elements. But isn't there a danger in this embrace of chaos? How do we avoid it leading to mere destruction?
The danger is precisely what gives value to this process. Those who fear chaos will never create anything truly new. One must have the courage to welcome chaos within oneself, to let comfortable certainties dissolve. It's only then that one can become what I call a free spirit.
I understand better now. It's a bit like my concept of philosophical intuition, which requires detaching oneself from habitual frameworks of thought. But how do you cultivate this creative chaos? How do you distinguish it from mere sterile disorder?
Excellent question. The chaos I speak of is not passive. It's an active, affirmative chaos. It's about embracing the fullness of life with its contradictions and tensions. It's saying yes to life in its totality, including its most difficult and painful aspects. This is what I call amor fati, the love of fate.
I see parallels with my notion of lived duration, where past, present, and future interpenetrate in a continuous flow. But how does this inner chaos manifest concretely in creation?
It manifests in art, in philosophy, in any authentic creation that breaks established molds. Think of Wagner's music. Although I ended up distancing myself from it, it illustrates this idea well. It emerges from sonic chaos to create new harmonies. Or think of my own writings. They don't follow a linear logic. They dance between ideas, provoke, destabilize.
I'm beginning to see the beauty of this conception. It aligns in a way with my idea that life itself is a continuous creative force. But how does this concept apply to the individual? How can one live with this inner chaos?
This is the whole point of what I call the Übermensch. It's not about suppressing chaos, but integrating it, dancing with it. The Übermensch is one who can contain the most extreme contradictions within without breaking, who can transform chaos into continuous creation. It's a difficult task, certainly, but it's the path to the highest affirmation of life.
I see the grandeur of this vision, but also its demands. Isn't there a risk of losing oneself in this chaos, of never achieving this sublime creation?
Of course there's a risk, but it's precisely this risk that gives value to creation. Those who seek safety above all will never create anything great. One must be ready to lose oneself to truly find oneself, to dissolve in order to be reborn. This is the profound meaning of my concept of eternal recurrence, to affirm life so fully that one would be ready to relive it eternally, chaos included.
I'm beginning to grasp the depth of your thought, Friedrich. It's both exhilarating and dizzying. Your dancing star is not a static creation, but a continuous process of creation and recreation, isn't it?
Exactly, Henri. You perfectly grasp the essence of my thought. The dancing star is always in becoming, never fixed. It's a creation that carries within it the chaos from which it was born, eternally dancing on the razor's edge between order and disorder, between form and formlessness. It's the highest expression of what I call great health. The capacity not only to endure the contradictions of existence, but to celebrate them, to make them the source of perpetual creativity.